Word on the very well-carpeted corridors of Colombo's elite political clubs is that an unholy alliance, part comedy, part tragedy, is quietly forming against the Anura Dissanayake-led government's bold moves to scrap the lavish perks of former presidents and end the lifetime pension schemes of MPs. In what some insiders are calling the comeback cartel, a curious cast of characters is said to be cooking up legal challenges and backroom strategy sessions. Leading the charge are none other than Sajith Premadasa, Wijepala, Namal Rajapaksa, Ranil Wickremesinghe, Maithripala Sirisena, Nandana Gunathalaka, and Premasiri manage strange bedfellows for sure, but apparently united by one common thread, a nostalgic longing for privileges now slipping through their fingers. This motley crew, once fierce rivals on the political stage, now find themselves huddled together in dimly lit rooms, plotting to preserve their golden parachutes. The catalyst for this unlikely alliance? A Gazette notification that sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, announcing the revocation of excessive privileges for former presidents. Gone are the chauffeurs, office staff, housing, unlimited security convoys, and all the trappings of post-power luxury that had become as much a part of Sri Lankan political life as corruption scandals and family dynasties. But it's not just the ex-presidents feeling the pinch. Parliamentarians, too, were left rattled after murmurs of the scrapping of their plush pensions gathered steam, with the NPP showing no signs of retreat. The prospect of actually having to fund their own retirements has sent many a career politician into a tailspin, frantically dialing up old contacts and dusting off long-forgotten alliances. Sources say the group has been holding discreet talks on jointly challenging the reform package in court. "Forget ideology, forget party lines, this is about lifestyle," quipped one insider, half-jokingly. But the sentiment runs deep. If these reforms go through, many high-profile former officials will be left uncomfortably close to the status of mere mortals, forced to queue for groceries and haggle over utility bills like the rest of us plebeians. The irony of this situation is not lost on the average Sri Lankan, who has watched for years as their leaders lived large on the public dime while the country teetered on the brink of economic collapse. Now, as the NPP moves to fulfill its campaign promises, the old guard is scrambling to protect their golden geese, public opinion be damned. One can almost picture the scene: Sajith Premadasa, his perfectly coiffed hair slightly disheveled from stress, pacing back and forth in a plush living room as Wijepala furiously scribbles legal arguments on a notepad. In the corner, Namal Rajapaksa scrolls through his phone, perhaps wondering if his Instagram followers would sympathize with his plight of potentially losing a government-funded chauffeur. Meanwhile, Ranil Wickremesinghe, ever the strategist, likely sits in quiet contemplation, plotting moves and countermoves like a chess grandmaster facing an unexpected challenger. Maithripala Sirisena, known for his political acrobatics, might be weighing the pros and cons of each possible stance, ready to leap whichever way the wind blows strongest. As for Nandana Gunathalaka and Premasiri manage, their presence in this high-stakes drama serves as a reminder that in Sri Lankan politics, even the supporting actors can find themselves center stage when their livelihoods are on the line. One can almost hear the hushed whispers and nervous laughter as these political veterans, once at each other's throats, now find common cause in preserving their privileged positions. But amidst all this backroom maneuvering, a conspicuous silence emanates from one key player. All eyes are on former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, who has yet to issue a public statement on the matter. Her silence, as always, is being read like tea leaves at a political essence. Is she mulling a surprise stand with the reformers, or biding time to rejoin her peers in protecting the old political order? Kumaratunga's potential move is the subject of intense speculation. Some argue that her history of advocating for reform might lead her to support the EMP's initiatives, even if it means sacrificing her own perks. Others suspect she's simply waiting to see which way the wind blows before making her position known. In the grand theater of Sri Lankan politics, Kumaratunga's next act could be a game changer, potentially swaying public opinion or providing moral cover for those opposing the reforms. Public opinion, however, is firmly on the side of reform. For years, Sri Lankans have railed against the blatant indulgences enjoyed by their former leaders, even as the country staggered under debt and economic ruin. The sight of ex-presidents cruising around in luxury vehicles with massive security details while ordinary citizens struggle to make ends meet has long been a source of simmering resentment. The National People's Power (NPP), riding a wave of anti-corruption sentiment, promised in its Prosperous Country Beautiful Life manifesto that these luxuries would be axed. True to form, the government is now acting on that promise, much to the delight of a populace weary of political excess and economic mismanagement. But as one seasoned political commentator noted, when you poke the perks poke back. Expect legal filings, media drama, and perhaps even a teary press conference or two. After all, for some, life after politics just isn't worth living without a government-funded Mercedes. The coming weeks are likely to see a flurry of activity as the comeback cartel ramps up its efforts to derail the reforms. Legal challenges will undoubtedly be filed, citing everything from constitutional rights to historical precedents. Expect impassioned speeches about the dignity of the office and the need to protect those who have served the nation. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, frantic negotiations will be taking place. Deals will be struck, favors called in, and perhaps a few skeletons dragged out of closets. The old guard of Sri Lankan politics has never been known for going down without a fight, and this battle over their golden handshakes promises to be no exception. For the NPP government, this resistance presents both a challenge and an opportunity. Standing firm on their reforms could cement their image as true agents of change, willing to take on entrenched interests for the good of the country. However, they'll need to navigate carefully, ensuring their actions can withstand legal scrutiny and public debate. As this drama unfolds, the Sri Lankan public watches with a mixture of amusement and frustration. Many see the spectacle of former political rivals banding together to protect their perks as the ultimate proof of what they've long suspected, that beneath the surface, the political elite is more interested in preserving their own interests than serving the people. Yet there's also a sense of cautious optimism. If these reforms can be pushed through, it could mark a significant shift in Sri Lankan political culture. The idea that holding high office is a ticket to lifelong luxury might finally be challenged, opening the door to a new era of accountability and fiscal responsibility. For now, the battle lines are drawn. On one side, a group of former presidents and MPs, united in their desire to maintain the status quo. On the other, a reform-minded government backed by a public hungry for change. As the legal challenges mount and the media circus begins, one thing is certain: the outcome of this struggle will have far-reaching implications for Sri Lankan politics for years to come. In the end, this story is about more than just perks and pensions. It's about the very nature of power and privilege in a democracy. As Sri Lanka grapples with economic challenges and seeks to rebuild trust in its institutions, the question remains, will the old guard succeed in clinging to their golden parachutes, or will a new era of political austerity finally dawn? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the carpeted corridors of Colombo's elite clubs are in for some interesting conversations in the coming months. And for once, the topic won't be who's getting what, but rather who's losing it all.